We're back at the table with this week's Line Opinion panelists. A new poll released this week by the Albuquerque Journal found significant support for a midnight curfew for young teens. There have been several high-profile incidents of crime involving teens in recent months. Albuquerque City Councilor Ken Sanchez, said he'd like the city to revisit the idea of imposing a curfew. And it's not a new concept. The city had a curfew on teens in the 90s, but it was struck down by a judge. And Sophie, we were just talking how then Mayor Marty Chavez, this was a big deal that fell under the umbrella of then President Bill Clinton, who was very big on this, and he handed out $75 million across the country for communities that want to impose fees. So a good, quick, obvious first question for you: do curfews work in your mind?
No, and evidence from across the country, cities around America, shows that it does not work. We see what we see, for instance, is a curfew goes in a city. Juvenile crime drops during the curfew period, but increases during the non-curfew period, and remains relatively constant. This is a Band-Aid. It's a feel-good. And looking at the polling that was done for the Albuquerque Journal, the question is really interesting. It's not a question of do you feel. They didn't ask, do you feel should the government impose curfews? They asked, do you think curfews are a good idea? Leaving the opportunity for people to say, I think that's good parenting. To think that, or I had a curfew when I was a child that didn't harm me, or I have a curfew for my children. I think there's a real difference between parents enacting curfews in their own households and our city or our state going along with that. And our courts seem to agree with that. We've already had a due process issue where a curfew's been struck down in the state. I'm not sure that I see it surviving the second time. And again, they do not work. They do not work.
Merritt, what do you think of that? Do you agree?
Well, I think absolutely. I think kids who think it's a good idea to run around in the middle of the night and commit a series of burglaries armed, I don't think a curfew is going to really impact their intent, first of all. Second, we've just talked about the need to really develop a better relationship between our police forces and our community here in Albuquerque. And I don't see where a police-enforced curfew brings anyone together.
Steve, the interesting in the research we all kind of kicked around trying to get our arms around this story, turns out most teen crime, or arrests, I should say, to put a fine point on it, happen at a time that's not between midnight and 5 a.m. or 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. It's like, as Sophie said, it's during normal times of the day. Do we want police really out there rousting teenagers at midnight out of parks? Don't they have better things to do, or is this somebody else's job?
Our police force is light. We don't have as many people on the police force as we need, and they would really be diverted. But I guess, I have sympathy for the city councilors who are thinking about this. I mean, there's a crime wave, and what do you do? But I think it's, as been said, it's a cosmetic solution. I mean, the kids who are doing this, they're confronted with their own failure, their community's failure, their parents' failure, and what's really failing is the educational system, and I think you have to ask why. And the LFC has studied this, and I've brought this up before. I mean, 50% of the difference between advantaged and disadvantaged kids is already present when kids go to kindergarten before they start any schooling, and that difference just accelerates because they can't read. A third of our kids can't recognize a signal letter when they get there. So, what do we do? The LFC has said home visiting. This has been shown on randomized studies to work. So right now we're home visiting 2,000 of kids. There's 28,000 kids born per year in New Mexico. We're home visiting 2,000 kids out of the prenatal to 3 group. It's not enough. We say there's not money. We have $15 billion sitting in the land grant permanent fund that's available for early childhood education. What these counselors need to be doing is saying to their legislators, pass the constitutional amendment, let's get home visiting, let's actually make a substantive difference. That's
interesting. Not bad there. Got to ask you a straight up question. Do curfews work for you or not work, or what do you think in this situation?
Well, I mean, with my libertarian tendencies, I'm a little suspicious of big government solutions to these things. But on the other hand, though, I'm not going to bust Councilor Sanchez's chops too much, because we do have, and especially in Albuquerque in the past year or so, we've seen a big uptick, and and this is directly related to a couple of incidents. We've got a drive-by shooting with a 14-year-old, for example.
Let's assume this does pass. Is there not a danger that we didn't turn away because we can call it a day? Well, we passed this curfew thing. We don't need to get to the stuff that Stephen just mentioned. Is there not a danger if in the passing of this, of having it be the panacea, the be-all, end-all, we just sort of turn away and say, well,
Well, I would imagine that Councilor Sanchez probably would say that it's not, the be-all and end-all. But I can empathize with the city leaders who feel like we've had a real problem. We've had the mobbing incident last month. We had the 14-year-old who died in the drive-by. But the other question too is, the ACLU says they're going to file a lawsuit. So if you're going to pass this, that means you're going to have to fight it and spend taxpayer money in court. So I don't know if you get that far.
Sure. Yeah. Other cities have gone through this, Sophie. This is not a new thing by any stretch, but it seems that the thing that does work that we do know is more activities for kids. Give them something to do.
And
if you don't want them hanging around,
give them nighttime activities
That's
to
right.
do. One of the things that we do see is one of the great factors that help to make a neighborhood safer is people out on the streets living their lives, playing basketball games, going. There's actually a great piece on NPR not too long ago about a community that set up a Buddha in an area that had terrible crime problems, and the people coming to visit the Buddha cut crime.
Right.
So we don't want necessarily to have silent, empty streets. If we've got kids out participating in basketball, going to events that have been created for them. Participating in the community in that way, we build community, we build accountability, and we create places that are too busy for crime to really take a foothold.
Well, let's talk about curfews in another way. I appreciate you mentioning your first lap on this. Curfews at home and parents establishing their own curfews. I have a couple of kids and we never had to do curfews, and for my kids, I had a curfew when I was a youngster, Merritt. Maybe some of you guys did too. What do you make of the idea, Merritt, that a curfew actually gives a kid a reason to walk away from trouble? Meaning if a group of kids are saying, hey, let's go down the street and go hang out at the park, you're right, hey, I got a curfew. I got to be at home by 11 o'clock or my mom's going to go out of her mind. Does that make sense to you?
Oh, absolutely. And I had a curfew growing up, and the first time I really got in trouble as a teenager, I was home completely inebriated and vomiting by 8:30 in the evening. So I totally made my curfew.
I'm guessing your
That would
curfew
get you in
was
trouble.
not 8.
Right, my curfew. I think my curfew was 11 or something, and I had to be at work the next morning at 6 a.m. and that was ugly. But I think to the point that kids who are going to do bad stuff will find an opportunity to do bad stuff whether there's a curfew or not, and it's everything that we're talking about, having something to do in the evening, having activities so that places are too busy for crimes to occur, engaged parenting, and perhaps even home visits. But I don't think this is a police solution.
Yeah. Also, I think the larger issue too that it encompasses a lot of our society is the fact that we have more single-parent homes now.
Thank you.
And if you've got a single parent, that's a tough job, and a lot of kids are going to be unmonitored, and especially if the parent is working at night. And I don't know how you get around that.
Stephen, what do you make of that too? Because that's a legitimate point that folks don't seem to hear. When I read some of the comments in the Journal site, everyone seems to think we've got the two-parent home, it's some Leave It to Beaver thing, why don't you know where your kids are? A lot of parents don't know where their kids are, and then again, a lot of kids don't want their parents to know where they are either, and there's nothing you can do about that if the kid doesn't want you to know.
Right, that's all true, and actually that's the basis for some of the success of the home visiting, the prenatal to 3 programs, because these are headed by a lot of single women, teenage women, and they actually don't have experience in raising kids, they don't have mom or grandma around.
That's right.
And that's part of the genius of helping cognitive and non-cognitive abilities. But yes, but there's also constitutionally protected activity that's stopped by a curfew. Going to a basketball game, going to religious occasion. Working a job, for example, that causes you to drive home after the curfew. So there's two sides of that too, Gene.
Interesting. When we return to the line table, we'll discuss a new plan from the Obama administration to reduce carbon emissions across the country, including right here in New Mexico.